Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this episode of The Hypnotist, you're going to be listening to a hypnosis session that utilizes certain elements of quantum physics and principles of the fourth dimension. And it's a topic that I actually talk quite a bit about at some of the hypnosis conventions and conferences, because I feel like it's an excellent metaphor to do things that you can do in hypnosis that you clearly can't do in reality. In reality, you can't travel forwards and backwards in time. But you certainly can do that in your imagination. A memory is going back into the past, and even a worry or a sense of excitement quite often is because you're thinking about a future that hasn't happened yet. And I was working with a client that was in the process of selling their business, and they'd had several offers, but the offers were lower than they ideally wanted. And they'd clearly worked very hard to build their business, and therefore, they were conflicted because part of them really did want to exit the business and kind of steer their life towards perhaps an early retirement. But equally, there was an element of feeling that it was being priced too low. And what this does is it takes the thought experiment called Schrödinger's cat. And the thought experiment of Schrödinger's cat is this idea that you've got this sealed chamber. People think the thought experiment is like a little cardboard box. It's not. It's like a sealed gas chamber. And inside the gas chamber is this very volatile gas that if the cat was to knock that, then it would release the gas and then kill the cat. But there's no way of knowing, because there's no sensors, there's no way of knowing if the cat has done that or not. And therefore, before you open this chamber or the box, the cat is both alive and dead simultaneously, which is counterintuitive because it either is or it isn't. But you don't know that until you actually open the box. So until the box is opened, all possibilities remain. And it's a great thought experiment to highlight this idea that in the quantum realm, if you want to call it that, there's certain things that all possibilities exist until they are observed. And Schrödinger's cat is obviously, a metaphor for quite complicated science, but it has this element that the observer can have an impact on the outcome, if that makes sense. So what I've actually done for this client is that they were considering three broad strategies when it came to selling their business. Accepting one of the offers, even though it was lower than they wanted, negotiating to see if they can get it to a place where they'd be happy with it. So a much more improved offer or on terms that they were okay with. And then the third is walking away and then perhaps selling it at some point in the future, perhaps at a much better price, because they've got more time to grow the business even more. So it uses this idea of Schrödinger's box to explore the pros and cons of each of those choices, but through the lens of all realities coexist. And there's a couple of things. One is this idea of Schrödinger's box of being all possibilities exist until the decision is made. But you've also got this idea of the multiverse, which is this theory that every single possible iteration of every single decision exists. So there are infinite versions of you. So if you think of major life decisions, then there is an iteration of you that did make that decision and didn't make that decision. And every decision you've made since then exist. There's the idea of the multiverse more recently, that's found its way into, let's say, popular psychology through the Marvel universe and some of the Doctor Strange movies. But it's a great concept because what it does is it enables you to take all the theory out of it and just say, well, if it did happen, what would that future probably look like as an observer? And most people explore the future from a first-person perspective. So you sometimes get very heavy emotions connected to that, and you lack the clarity that you get from being an observer rather than someone experiencing. And anxiety quite often is people teleporting to a future event that hasn't happened yet, but acting as if it's happening in the present. It's that anticipation element. So there's a bit going on in this session, but I love talking and thinking about some of these kind of quantum and fourth dimensional elements, because you can play with these things in hypnosis and you totally can't play with them in reality. You don't get to test drive multiple decisions simultaneously in reality. You either make the decision or you don't. That's kind of what decisiveness is. But this is designed to help get to a place of intuitive insight so that when the decision is made, it feels like the right decision for the client I was working with. Also, if you're listening to this and you are fascinated by these things about the fourth dimension and quantum, let's say, theory fused into how the mind works, I'm actually talking about this at the Irish Hypnotherapy Conference in a few weeks' time. It's in the first few days of April in Dublin. If you go to irishhypnotherapyconference.ie, you can check that out. And if you use the code ADAM, you will get a discount on the tickets. So if you've never been to Dublin before and you want to learn a lot about hypnosis in a very short period of time, there'll be me and many other speakers talking on different topics there. So it'd be great to see you there. In the meantime, though, if this session feels like it's interesting for you, find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in a feeling of calm relaxation. And as you exhale slowly, allow your eyes to close or to relax, feeling your eyelids getting heavier and heavier. Position your body in a way where you can feel settled, comfortable. As you breathe in and breathe out, allow yourself to begin drifting into a deep state of pure relaxation. Notice your breathing and allow yourself to breathe in deeper than before and exhale for longer. Each breath slightly deeper than the last. But as you breathe in, imagine breathing in a feeling of clarity, a sense of objectivity. Breathe in that feeling of clarity and just allow any doubts or confusion to feel like it's leaving your body in that outward breath. As you breathe in that clarity, scan your body for any clues of tension or stress. And sometimes it's in obvious places like your forehead, jaw, neck, or shoulders. But sometimes it's in an arm, a leg, or somewhere in the chest. But as you breathe in that relaxation and clarity, feel any tension melting away. And imagine that tension leaving your body in that outward breath as you exhale. As you breathe in and breathe out, I'd like you to imagine a magnificent staircase, perhaps made of mahogany or marble, or maybe something else. And imagine yourself at the top of that staircase looking down, getting a sense that there is something interesting, unusual, perhaps a strange-looking box there at the bottom of the staircase. Very soon I will count down from 10 to 1, and you will imagine walking down the staircase. With each step down the staircase, you will allow your body to relax even deeper. So imagine being at the very top of that staircase, looking down, perhaps even seeing that mysterious box somewhere on that lower level. As you breathe in and breathe out, I will count downwards, each number giving you the ability to take another step down the staircase. 10, feeling a wave of relaxation wash over you, melting away any remaining tension. 9, your breathing slows, steady and deep. 8, a warm, gentle heaviness spreads through your body as you continue down the staircase. 7, drifting, perhaps even floating, letting go. 6, your mind opens like a door into new possibilities. 5, halfway down the staircase now, as you feel yourself softly descending into a calm, weightless space. 4, the boundaries between past, present, and future begin to dissolve. 3, as if time itself bends, stretching beyond the limits of what you once knew. Getting towards the end of this staircase. 2, almost there, stepping through. And 1, completely relaxed, deeply at ease. Allow your consciousness to open to new dimensions of thought and clarity. And perhaps there is a hallway, a corridor, or just an open space at the bottom of this staircase. A vast chamber of time, space, and infinite potential. Consider this like a limbo, a place beyond the known dimensions, a place where past, present, and future exist all at once, a place where choices are made and unmade in the same breath, a place where all versions of you exist, observing, learning, and waiting. And up ahead you can see that mysterious box. Approach the box, and that box represents a thought experiment unfolding before you. Just like Schrödinger's cat, inside this box exists every iteration, every possible outcome of a major life decision. Until the box is opened, until observed, all paths remain open, undetermined, waiting for you to peer inside and bring them to life. Keep the box closed and just imagine you now exist in the closed box, able to experience or observe all the possible connotations, iterations, and possibilities. But to narrow these possibilities down from the infinite, I want you to imagine inside the box has 4 walls, and on 3 of those walls are 3 shimmering doorways, each representing one of 3 possible choices. See what the doors look like. Try and figure out why they're shimmering. Shimmering from light or particles or something else. The first doorway represents the choice to sell your business now, but in doing so, accepting a lower price than you wanted. Imagine walking through the door, allowing time to shift, and find yourself in the near future. That could be several months, or maybe a year or 2. But you are the observer. I want you to see the natural timeline of your life with that choice. Perhaps feel like you're going to a different world where that decision has already been made, and you're just seeing what life is like for you with that ripple through the space-time continuum. What has changed? Notice the details. What are the advantages? Maybe see yourself with more time. Observe what you do with the additional resources of money. Perhaps less stress, more balance. But also allow yourself to visit a future where that was an undesirable choice. Maybe you see a version of you with frustrations, regrets, or resentment. Allow yourself to observe the good and the bad, the positive and the undesirable, perhaps as 2 different realities. Explore the version of you where that choice to sell, even at a lower price, was the best decision you could ever make. But then also observe what would have to happen for that to feel like a mistake, a regret. Time stretches further. What are the undesirable consequences of that earlier decision? Did you sell yourself short? Observe if there feels like a missed opportunity. Is it more about regret or liberation? You're simply the observer. So take a moment to absorb everything, the best and the worst that this choice may bring. As this scene dissolves, feel like you're walking backwards through the original door And now seeing another shimmering door on a different wall, knowing that this is just one internal side of the box that you currently exist in. This new doorway, the second door, is the path of negotiation. In this outcome, that version of you secured a fair and acceptable price before selling. Maybe the terms were changed. Maybe they increased their offer. Maybe someone else also took an interest. I want you to get a sense that you're just observing. And as you observe that reality, what do you see? See yourself with all of the resources necessary to negotiate the fairest and best terms, securing an outcome that is good for you, but also good for those that matter most to you, perhaps partners or family. I want you to get a sense that see what would need to happen for this outcome to be desirable, but also what could happen in this decision to make it undesirable. I want you to get a sense that rarely is anything black and white. It's always shades of grey. And if securing a higher price meant a bigger time commitment, you can observe if that makes it more or less desirable for you. I want you to get a sense that each decision comes with a potential benefit, but either increasing or reducing risk depending on the choice. But observe your facial expressions in this future. Do you see yourself with a sense of achievement, a feeling of peace knowing that you held your ground? Maybe you did secure a higher price, and what new opportunities arise from that decision? But then also see the challenges. Did the brinkmanship lead to more stress, more fees? Did unexpected factors arise? And then go off into that future. Maybe the terms that you negotiated take you to a better future, or perhaps certain terms with performance-related accelerators and acknowledgements somehow make things worse. Explore all the possibilities and get a sense that you're just observing, allowing your intuition to give you more insight, and with any new information, allow these variables to ripple through time and show you the good and the bad. Absorb these insights, knowing that this path might seem like the obvious solution, but in the same way that a cloud has a silver lining, sometimes all that glitters is not gold. It's time to leave this choice. Go back in reverse through that door, still in Schrödinger's box. But see the third door. The third door is the path where you walk away. You don't sell at this moment. So step through that door and see yourself in a desirable future where this was the most beneficial thing to do, giving you more time to build your business, make it more profitable, securing a higher valuation. In this future, perhaps you have to give maybe 2 or 3 more years, but in doing so, you create a legacy that is good for you and good for your family. I want you to get a sense that it wasn't without its risks. Maybe there were consultancy fees that had to be paid that offered no guarantee of even selling in the future at a better price. But see the future where it all works out, that it was the right thing to do. By walking away, maybe it led to an improved offer, meaning that that's what it took to get the best outcome in door 2. Or maybe by walking away, you freed up a new level of resolve, dedication, tenacity to build it even bigger, better, more profitable than before. And perhaps knowing that those earlier prospective buyers are keeping an eye on what's happening, and maybe it is they that have that regret. They regret not improving their offer when they had the chance. See it all in the most beneficial way. But also explore a future where walking away and not selling at that time doesn't work out. Your intuition will show you what would have to happen. I want you to get a sense that if a company in a certain sector was just about to sell their business at a less than optimal price right before the pandemic, not knowing what impact the pandemic would have, there's a possibility that they wish they could have gone back in time, sold it at that price, and then deployed the resources or built something new when this black swan event happened. The nature of a black swan event is that they are unforeseeable, unpredictable, and maybe in this undesirable future, by you not selling, what if it leads to a missed opportunity? This is Schrödinger's box. Every iteration, every possibility coexists at exactly the same time. See the good, see the bad. See this third door being the best choice and the worst choice, giving your unconscious mind all the information to allow you to make intuitive decisions or negotiations. Step back into Schrödinger's box, in that vast chamber of infinite time and possibility, and allow yourself to see all versions of you perhaps 2 or 3 years from now, standing in the box with you. Each decision created a different version of you, and allow them all to be in that room. Judge their facial expressions, and maybe all 3 of them are happy. It's quite possible that whatever decision you make takes you to a good place. It's also possible that there will always be something to regret, Because your mind could go to that place of, what if I did something different? Each version of you has learned something different from a different choice, lived something unique. But trust that because you are you in every iteration of you, your resources will always be there. Whatever happens, you have drive, tenacity, determination, and resilience. As you start coming to the conclusion that you will make the best of whatever choice you make. Each version of you offers you a perspective, a lesson or a piece of wisdom from a possible future. Allow yourself to soak up that wisdom in advance, distorting the linear nature of time. And as you look upon these versions of you, something remarkable happens. The fourth dimension bends around you, folding and merging. And in a moment, these timelines will collapse, coming together to form the best path. Whether you know it now or in the future, you will conclude that it was the right choice for you, the one that aligns with your values, your goals, and your truest desires. So take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, feel even more clarity washing over you, and allow the past, the future, the multiverse all coalescing into a singular moment, perhaps an epiphany of knowing. And if that sense of knowing doesn't appear, have an expectation that it will come to you in the very near future. That your intuition will allow you and validate that when the right choice comes along, you will know it. It will feel right. It's time to leave Schrödinger's box and now appear on the outside, still seeing the box closed. Because the box will only open when you actually make your choice. Before then, all possibilities exist. Schrödinger's cat is both alive and dead. And all decisions are possible before you make it. It's time to leave this place. But you leave this place with a deep sense of trust that things will work out for the best. A feeling of more wisdom and insight. A feeling that whatever the right choice is, it will feel like the right choice when you make it. So just imagine walking back up that staircase that we can call perhaps the here and the now. As you walk up that staircase, feel yourself increasing your awareness. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Start to connect with the here and the now, as I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. You will awaken with a deep feeling of insight and clarity and all the resources to increase the probability of the ideal choice and decision for you. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.